Henry McClure live, burning the midnight oil. Actually, it's the 1 a.m. oil. Did you ever watch the show Boston Legal, where Denny Crane says you got to pull a rabbit out of the hat? Well, that's the next thing for me. The longevity of Go Topeka has ended, in my opinion. They've never, ever supported me really on any of my deals, um, other than they did help mainline printing, but that really wasn't, I'm not going to say that was my deal. Mainline printing was an existing business in town, and they'd helped them before, and I got to thank Jim Klossman, their attorney, even helped mainline on some other issues. But what I'm talking about is looking at the interlocal agreement. And the interlocal agreement says that, we're here to support economic development, we're here to support infrastructure, and we're here to support quality of life. Well, the deals that I brought forward, I've been asking for help with infrastructure, and they're bringing new business to town. But um, their stance has always been, well, that doesn't create jobs. Well, what they're really not saying that I've kind of caught on to is, well, Henry, we're not going to work with you. So we've created this idea of it's got to be about job creation. When Heritage Tractor came to town, didn't get any help, but they created jobs. The 160 Driving Academy created jobs, and 160 Driving Academy that trains truck drivers, it's got to be absolute one of the best things to have in this community with all the distribution centers here and the need for truck drivers. And but they've never supported my deals because we look at life completely different. Well, the pulling the rabbit out of the hat now is turning the tables because I've got to get Jetto, which is made up of the 3 county commissioners and the city council. There's only 4 voting members, but the Jetto, by hiring Go Topeka to basically have a monopoly on the new deals that come to town, to me, I can't take it anymore. It's got to be over. Because one thing, with all the money they're carrying forward, they're not doing deals. I mean, at the last Jetto meeting, they were all proud that they created 2 jobs for the Christmas tree lighting guy before Christmas. Like, well, 2 jobs. Hey, and what's really troubling to me is out of the $5 million allotment to go to economic development, they're spending 39% of it, 38% of it on salaries and overhead. So not only are they not doing deals, they're not performing, and they get paid anyway, no accountability. And I am sure as hell not the only one in this community that will say they don't work with you. So my pitch now is to engage. I started off with the Topeka Board of Realtors, and I think they came up with like, let's say 650 members. Well, what I want to do is I want to create a group, whoever wants to be involved with it, and we create a listing on all the lands that are entitled to Go Topeka, And part of this whole exchange here is to take title back. There's no reason that Go Topeka ought to have title to the real estate. Zero. And so I can't wait to see how they dance on this one because my project immediately creates over 600 jobs. And this is the point I'm driving home. And I've always said this to people. It's not how hard you work, it's how hard your network works for you. So let's create this army of realtor people that make a living deal by deal. And think about the 6 degrees of separation. How many people do these people know? And we just changed the whole dynamics of the community by engaging, because you've really got to look at it like every one of these real estate people is basically their own business. They may have teams. They may work at brokerage houses. They may be individual brokers. They may be gunslingers, just a single guy out there on his own. But all of us, really, at the end of the day, have to perform, and we only get paid when we make a deal. I mean, the majority of us. So think about that. Overnight, we kick we kick the government out of the real estate business, and we kick a all of a sudden we've got $1.9 million more to put into projects. And if we just turn it into pay as you go, because I'm for today of taking all the infrastructure, all the money that we've got in the bank, and plump plopping it down into the water department to start catching up. We got to start living differently. We got to change the way we do things. Henry McClure live. I think it's about time to call it a night. But I love y'all.